Hello Pantry Purgers and welcome to Mom's Vegan Kitchen Lessons. Today is Cinco de Mayo and Taco Tuesday, so I'm going to be making some vegan tacos for dinner. I'm going to make some homemade taco seasoning. On this plate I have 1.5 teaspoons of cumin, half a teaspoon of paprika. I happen to have smoked paprika because that's what I had in the cabinet. I didn't have any sweet paprika, but you can use either one. I'm using half a teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of oregano, and I'm only going to use a little bit of pepper for now. You can do as much as 1 teaspoon of pepper. It depends how spicy you like it. And, we like it very mild. So I'm going to just start off, that's about 1/8 of a teaspoon of pepper. And when I make my Mocko meat, I'm going to taste it, and if it needs more pepper, then I'll just add it then. Now, the thing that's missing from this plate, you might realize, is chili powder. I only had cayenne pepper, which is quite different than chili powder. It's very, very spicy, and American chili powder is going to be a bit different than just using ground cayenne pepper. So this will make it too spicy. So I am not going to put this in. And just like with the regular black pepper, when I taste it as it's cooking, if I decide that it needs something, I can always sprinkle this in. But, I always tell you, you can always add more, but you can't take it away. So let's go ahead and make our taco seasoning with our beautiful spices. My oregano, you might notice, is very kind of big and not ground up very much, and that's because this is the oregano from my garden that I dry myself. And so I just took it off the stem. It was full, it was full leaves on the stem, and I just crushed them up with my fingers. So that's why it might not look as ground up as you might find oregano in a spice bottle. Okay, so that's our taco seasoning. Now, I might need to make more of this. I might need to double this recipe depending on how much I actually need in the pan. But I just started off with this amount for now, and it's easy to whip up. I have all the spices in the cabinet, so I can always make more or add more of whatever I think it needs as I'm cooking it and tasting it. So this is our taco seasoning, and when I make my Mockos, my vegan tacos, I will put this in with what I'm cooking in the pan. I'm going to make some Pico De Gallo right now. We're going to need a nice fresh tomato, a red onion, some fresh lime, some salt, and normally you would want fresh cilantro in there, but the store was out of cilantro, probably because it's Cinco de Mayo. So I got dried cilantro. I'm going to put this in, and we'll see how it goes. It's a good substitute because they didn't have fresh. I also have parsley, but I don't think it would give it the right flavor palette for parsley because, the Pico de Gallo really needs that cilantro flavoring. So let's get started cutting up our veggies to make our Pico de Gallo. Okay, our tomatoes are all chopped, and we're going to get them right into our bowl. To get your onion to be diced, you're going to take your knife and you're going to put it in sideways like this. Don't cut all the way through. Just cut back about 3/4 of the way, or as close to the end as you can. And then we're going to go ahead and make some slices this way. Again, very carefully. Keep your fingers curled so you don't cut a finger. We're just going to do that. Get them as close together as you can. Mine are kind of far apart just because this is a small onion and I don't want to cut myself. Now we're ready to dice. We're just going to cut through it with our knife, and it's going to be diced. Let's go ahead and put, ooh, that's a strong onion, my eyes. Oh, that's getting me. Get in my eyes.
Okay, so we're going to do our onion. We're going to slice through with our knife sideways as best we can. I should do it this way, actually. It's a little bit easier. And then we're going to make some slices in this direction. Keep your fingers out of the way. Don't forget. You don't want to cut your finger. Okay, now we're ready to dice.
Beautiful. Look at that. That is beautiful. Let's give this a little stir around before we add the other ingredients. Okay, we have our lime. We're going to cut it in half. Well, it depends what kind of juicer you have or how you're going to be juicing your lime. But I have this kind of juicer. Now, if you have this kind of juicer, you may feel like you want to put the lime in like this, but that's not actually how this juicer works. I know it seems a little counterintuitive, but you put it upside down. Now let's get this lime in there. And you squeeze it and the lime juice goes right in. Yum. That was a really good juicy lime. I don't know if I'm going to need the second half. I'm going to have to give this a taste. Now, if you can, you want to try to make your Pico De Gallo ahead of time, maybe like a half an hour ahead of time, because that'll give all the flavors a chance to come together. Now, we want to put some salt in, because what the salt will do is draw out the flavors of the tomato and the onions and incorporate everything together. It'll help do that. So I'm going to let that sit. Now is the test, the dry cilantro, because we don't really know how it's going to taste with dry cilantro, since really Pico is supposed to have fresh cilantro. So let me give this a taste and see what's happening right now with the salt and the lime and the onion and the tomato. I'm just going to give it a taste. That is. That's really good. That was just the right amount of salt. You don't want to oversalt it. Remember, you can always add more, but you can't take it away if it's too salty. That's really good. Here's what we're going to do. So we don't like put it in and then we don't like it. I'm going to take a little bit out. And now I'm going to take a little bit of the dried cilantro and crush it in there. And then stir it around and give it a taste. Oh, that's really good. Okay, the dried cilantro is a really good substitute. If you can't find, if your store is out of cilantro for whatever reason, like mine was, which is unusual, this is a good substitute. This worked really nicely. It's a really good flavor. I'm doing this little extra crush to sort of release more of the flavor from the leaves. I don't know how much to put in since it's dried. I'm going to have to taste this and see what I did. You know, the beauty of eating vegan or plant strong is that you can taste away, taste, because it's all good for you. And, you know, we have no portion control and no calorie counting when we eat plant-based because of caloric density. Since most plant foods are low, have a low caloric density, you get full before you eat too many calories. Think about some lettuce. If you had 400 calories of lettuce, that would be a huge amount of lettuce. You probably couldn't even eat that all. So you'd be really quite full, and so you wouldn't have much calories in your body. This is really good. I'm going to be full of pico before I even make the tacos. I'm going to let this sit, and I'll taste it again, and I'll see if it needs more cilantro or more lime. I still have half a lime. So, super easy to make your own pico. Tomatoes, onions, lime, salt, and cilantro. Super easy. Hope you give it a try. I have sauteing in this pan right here some diced red peppers, onions, and garlic. I'm letting these just get a little bit softened. And I'm not using any oil. I'm just going to add a little water to it to help it not stick to the pan. So I'm going to let this cook a little bit more. And once it softens up, we're going to be adding some organic red rice. This is going to be our meat substitute. That's organic red rice. And we're going to be adding our homemade taco seasoning. I don't have the main ingredient, which is the chili powder, but I think it'll taste really, really good without the chili powder. So I think it'll be just fine. Let's see how our veggies are doing. Oh, they smell really good. In the meantime, I have heating up over here in my toaster oven on a very low temperature some tortillas that I wrapped in foil, and I've already prepared some homemade Pico De Gallo. And also I sauteed some green peppers and onions. And once everything is finished, we're going to put together our tacos with all those ingredients. And it's going to be delicious. I'm going to add a little bit of seasoning to the veggies, and then I'm going to add the rest of it when the rice goes in, which is our mock meat. Oh wow, that smells really good. A little bit of water so it doesn't dry out. I have this cooking over a medium heat. Now I made my red rice in a steamer, and I did 1 cup of rice, which is 1 1/4 cup of water when you do it in a steamer for this kind of rice. So I'm not really sure how much of this I want to add to this concoction here. Okay, let's add a little more water. Keep it from sticking. Okay, how's that look? That kind of looks like taco meat, doesn't it? Now let's add the rest of our seasoning in. Now I might have to make more seasoning. I wasn't really sure how much seasoning I would need. We need to get the rice heated through. Oh, this really smells like taco meat. Okay, let's get the rest of this seasoning in here. And after this is done incorporating, I'm going to give it a taste and see if it needs any more salt or pepper. That's really good. It doesn't need anything. Just going to put a little more water in. I guess because of the rice, it's really getting dry. It's like keeps absorbing the water. It's getting dried out. I don't want it to get dried out. So better to have some more water in it than not enough. Here's the finished mock taco meat, made with organic red rice, red peppers, onions, garlic, and the homemade taco seasoning. And we have our homemade Pico De Gallo right here. And we just have some shredded lettuce, and I also sauteed some onions and peppers. And we're going to take a tortilla that I've heated up, just warmed it up, and we're going to make our tacos. You could also put vegan cheese on this if you wanted to. But this is all the fixins. It's going to be delicious. Add some guacamole, wrap it up, and dig in. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel right here to see more nutrition, gardening, and cooking videos. New videos are posted each week. Give us a thumbs up and share this video if you enjoyed it. Be sure to click on the bell to never miss any of our fantastic videos. Enjoy!